je suis congolais de Brazzaville.
Ok.
Voilà.
Congolais de Brazzaville,
Oui.
Rodrigue, ok. Alors, donc tu es Kagward.
Ouais, ça
Donc-
fait 3 ans ici, je suis Kagard.
Explique-moi le phénomène alors.
Bon, le phénomène, c'est nous gardons les voitures. Donc, les voitures que vous voyez au parking, c'est-à-dire il y a un parking, les voitures sont là. Alors, s'il n'y a pas de gardien, les autochtones peuvent venir casser et puis voler des choses.
Ok.
Alors, on s'organise, on vient voir le centre. On parle avec le manager, que non, on peut préparer, organiser les gens, on les met là, vous ne les payez pas. Mais le propriétaire de la voiture, qui laisse sa voiture là, qui revient, s'il voit que sa voiture est en bon état, s'il pense, il peut donner un petit rien, alors il donne au gars.
D'accord.
Alors le gars fait son salaire comme ça.
Ah, c'est cool. Et alors, d'accord. Mais c'est quoi que tu appelles les autochtones? C'est
les gens
les Sud-Africains, quoi.
Les Sud-Africains, quoi.
Ok, ok.
C'est-
Parce qu'il y a beaucoup d'insécurité ici, tu crois?
beaucoup d'insécurité, c'est à cause de ça que faudrait qu'il y ait des gens qui peuvent être là pour surveiller, voire en cas de, vous appelez la police vite, quand vous regardez un homme suspect, vous appelez la police, alors la
Donc
police...
toi, ton but, en gros, tu surveilles, et s'il y a un truc, hop, t'appelles la police.
Parce que je n'ai pas le droit d'arrêter un voleur, parce que je suis pas armé, vous voyez. Je vois un gars suspect.
Tu es des yeux,
J'ai seulement des yeux.
Ouais,
Un
d'accord.
gars suspect, j'appelle la police, et puis la police arrive, il fait son travail.
Ok, d'accord.
c'est cela.
Et mais comment ça se passe? Parce que toi, tu es payé par les gens qui... Voilà, nous par exemple.
Ouais.
Et, mais il y a une association qui dit, toi, tu vas venir ici, toi, tu vas venir
Exact.
là-bas, pour pas que ça soit la guerre
Exactement,
entre vous.
nous sommes organisés. Hein. C'est un rosta, je ne sais pas comment on appelle ça en français. Il y a comme un emploi du temps. Hein.
Un schedule.
Voilà, c'est un tel qui est là, mardi c'est un tel qui est là, mercredi, ainsi de suite.
Ok.
C'est comme ça. Hein.
D'accord, ok. Et suivant les endroits où tu es, en plus, tu peux gagner plus ou moins d'argent. Il y a des endroits plus stratégiques. Par exemple, ici, ça doit être mieux qu'ailleurs.
Tout à fait, il y a des endroits stratégiques aussi. Mais quand vous travaillez aussi, vous finissez, vous donnez un petit rien toujours pour faire fonctionner sur l'organisation en question.
Et c'est pas officiel par contre.
Non.
C'est-à-dire que t'es pas déclaré.
C'est un petit truc seulement. À vrai dire.
C'est au black, comme on dit en France.
Ouais.
C'est
la chose, elle est faite
background.
seulement pour aider les réfugiés. Hein, vous voyez, donc, on ne tient pas rigueur, il n'y a pas de droits à payer et tout c'est comme ça.
Et toi, t'es congolais, t'as pas le statut de Sud-Africain.
Non.
Et comme par rapport au visa, tes papiers, tu fais comment alors?
Non, on a le statut des réfugiés.
Réfugiés politiques.
Les conditions de guerre qui se sont passées chez nous, alors voilà.
Ouais,
On a trouvé asile ici, là.
Et alors, donc t'es content là de ta vie en Afrique du Sud?
Ah, la vie n'est pas aussi facile que ça. Hein. Toutes les fois, dès qu'il y aura la stabilité, nous repartons déjà même.
Ça doit être difficile.
Vraiment, la vie n'est pas facile.
Et t'arrives à gagner ta vie avec ce boulot?
Bon, juste comme qui dirait, le pain qui est nécessaire, le quotidien, voilà.
Le pain quotidien.
Le pain quotidien seulement. Et puis, en attendant que les choses s'arrangent de l'autre côté.
Mais t'as quand même un boulot, donc c'est quand même ça. Parce qu'il y a
Le
beaucoup
boulot,
de gens
ouais,
qui
c'est
sont...
ça qui me fait vivre, qui me fait payer la maison et tout.
Parce que tous les gens qui volent, ou qui cassent des voitures, ou des choses comme ça, c'est des gens qui n'ont pas de travail, ou c'est des gens qui ne veulent pas travailler?
Non. C'est des gens qui peuvent travailler, mais il y a un problème ici. Vous voyez, le Sud-Africain n'utilise pas n'importe qui. Vous voyez, si vous n'êtes pas Sud-Africain, c'est difficile qu'on peut vous utiliser.
Ah ouais.
Même si vous avez vos diplômes et tout, c'est très difficile.
Tu veux dire qu'il y a une sorte de nationalisme?
Vous voyez par exemple que quand nous venons ici, là, il y a des gens qui ont étudié. Vous avez des diplômes, vous pouvez comme qui dirait les translates.
Traduire.
Quelque chose comme ça. Voilà, vous les traduisez, alors mais malgré ça, ils ne peuvent pas vous accepter. Donc vous êtes obligé encore de refaire les études ici, accepter, prendre leur formation, alors à ce moment-là, vous pouvez maintenant exécuter. Alors c'est pas facile. Venez 5 ans encore, il faut étudier, il faut payer et tout.
En fait, les Sud-Africains, et particulièrement les Sud-Africains noirs, sont privilégiés pour les emplois.
Oh, ouais.
C'est ça, non?
C'est ça.
Je crois.
C'est d'abord le fils du pays, et puis le reste après.
Ok.
C'est cela.
Ouais, mais c'est vrai que après c'est compliqué pour les gens comme vous qui venaient en réfugié, quoi.
Si on pouvait seulement permettre aux gens de travailler librement avec leur diplôme ou même de... Non, on ne faisait pas ça.
Toi, tu as des diplômes ou pas?
Ouais, j'ai quand même étudié un peu par la société.
À Brazzaville?
Oui, à Brazzaville.
Tu faisais quoi?
Bon, j'ai fait les mathématiques à vrai dire. J'ai fait les mathématiques, j'étais à la faculté des sciences. Juste la guerre est fait qu'on se...
Et pourquoi tu es venu en Afrique du Sud et par exemple pas en France ou pas, je sais pas, en Belgique?
C'était un problème de moyens. Ici, l'entrée était facile. Vous voyez, mais en Europe, l'entrée n'est pas aussi trop facile comme vous le pensez.
Ah,
il y a
non,
beaucoup
c'est
de
difficile.
rigueur.
Ouais.
C'est très difficile.
Et puis c'est loin,
Au moins ici, l'entrée était facile parce que vous avez juste le billet, le visa, on vous accepte sans beaucoup de conditions.
Donc là, ton visa, tous les 6 mois, tu dois rentrer en France, au Congo, pardon. Tu dois faire des allers-retours pour ton visa.
Oh ouais, vous êtes libre.
Mais je veux dire, t'as pas de papier particulièrement ici. Enfin, t'as un visa, t'es officiel,
quand
mais...
vous venez avec votre passeport, Alors on vous enregistre.
Combien de temps tu as le droit de
Ouais.
rester en fait?
Pardon?
Combien de temps tu as le droit de rester sur le territoire sud-africain?
Bon, le territoire sud-africain nous permet de rester, bon, que je m'explique un peu librement. Quand vous arrivez, vous vous enregistrez,
Ouais.
alors on vous donne un papier peut-être d'une année.
Une année, ok.
Alors vous vivez comme ça là, alors avant que l'année là s'écoule, vous partez encore, on vous prolonge encore, si vous voulez encore rester, on vous prolonge et puis ainsi de suite. C'est
Ok,
comme
ok,
ça.
ok, ok. Mais ok, c'est
Maintenant, après
permis.
5 ans, on peut vous donner.
Tu peux pas te faire. En France, souvent il y a des renvois.
Aussi, il y a aussi des renvois.
ouais, il y en a.
Vous allez, on voit que les raisons ne sont pas fondées, surtout que si chez vous il y a déjà la paix, on va vous retourner.
Ouais, ouais.
C'est comme ça.
Ok, ok. Alors, comment tu perçois. Hello. Comment tu perçois la société sud-africaine? En fait, par rapport notamment aux relations sociales entre les blancs et les noirs. Est-ce que tu crois que c'est choquant? Comment ça se passe? Quelle est ton opinion là-dessus?
Bon, mais ce qui est sûr, c'est quelque chose qui, d'après moi, qui va avec le temps. Vous voyez, comme c'est un pays qui sort, ça fait pas longtemps qu'ils sont sortis de l'apartheid. Vous voyez, les Américains, par exemple, ça a pris beaucoup de temps pour qu'il y ait vraiment une cohabitation réelle entre l'homme noir et l'homme blanc.
C'est vrai, c'est vrai.
Ah oui, ça a pris beaucoup de
Et
temps.
encore, et c'est pas
Voilà.
génial
Donc,
encore.
on peut dire qu'il faut peut-être après au moins 3 ou 4 générations. Hein.
Okay.
Okay.
Look at me, look at me.
Good.
So what's your name?
My name is Clinton Josiah,
Okay.
36 years old.
Okay.
36. And yeah, work at Longridge. I've been in the wine industry for 12 years now.
Okay.
12 years now. And yeah, started into it because of the lifestyle.
So you're the winemaker of the estates? The
Yes,
estates?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're the only one?
The only one, but you'll meet Andrine just now. She does most of the work.
And you watch at her if she is doing good, that's it?
Yeah, but generally she does a good job. Okay. Don't have to worry.
Are you born in Stellenbosch,
No, I was born in Johannesburg.
Johannesburg?
And then was educated in Stellenbosch, studied in Johannesburg,
Uh-huh.
studied there, and then
In one university?
no,
not at all?
studied as a hotelier and a chef.
Oh yes, really?
We worked in the industry for
Okay.
a couple of years,
Okay.
and then decided that no, the lifestyle was not there.
But what is your training, education in wine? How did you get your science, your knowledge?
I came back to Stellenbosch University or Stellenbosch on a holiday, and just fell in love with the environment and everything.
Yes.
And then decided that I loved it, but I knew nothing about.
At the beginning,
about it.
you knew nothing.
Nothing. So I went back to university
Mhm.
and studied at the Stellenbosch University,
Okay.
and worked part time to get through my studies,
Mhm.
and yeah, carried on from there. So.
And so at the beginning, what was your job here? You were not the winemaker.
Here I was a winemaker. I've been here for 3.5 years.
Okay.
And then I was at another winery for almost 2 years. I was set up a cellar and that there.
Okay.
And previously, that's where I learned it. I was at Milderbosch, and I started out as, I don't know, sweeping the floors, washing the tanks,
Okay.
labeling, everything.
At the beginning.
Yeah, everything from nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. And then worked up there to winemaker,
Okay.
and then moved
Okay.
on after that.
Great. Okay, we have good information about you. We can begin
can
the
use
tour.
it.
We will use it. Maybe you will see by a French producer and we want this guy, this winemaker. I don't know. No, just kidding. Ok.
Yeah.
Filme en permanence, hein, tu filmes tout? Ok? Ça te dérange pas?
And you can just ask questions, whatever you want.
Maybe we
discuss
can
with you.
walk and see the place and.
This unfortunately it broke today, so we can't get in the side. But this is where we receive the grapes.
Okay.
So the grapes come through on the tractors in bins, about 400 kilogram bins,
Okay.
and then we take it either to the big press, whole bunch press for a lot of the white wines,
Mm-hmm.
and then a pneumatic press, and then from there it goes down to the tanks.
Okay.
This little press is for the red wines, and we've got.
You have
sorting
only one
tables.
press?
Two presses, one big press,
Yeah.
and the
And
small press for the whites.
Okay. Okay.
And we, the whites mainly whole bunch press.
Okay.
We do some destemmed.
When is the vintage time? It's in March or February?
Well, the busiest time is February,
Yes.
but we start around about the middle of January with our sparkling wines.
Okay.
So our base wine for the champagne style.
Because
sparkling
you're
wine.
doing what kind of cepage do you grow here?
We do Chardonnay and Pinot Noir for that,
Okay.
and then early.
So you have a mix of two cepage for your champagne.
Yes.
Champagne method.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally 70% Chardonnay, 30% Pinot Noir,
Okay.
roughly. And then that comes in the third week of January, around about the middle to the third week of January.
Yes.
And then we start with Sauvignon Blanc on the first week of February,
Mm-hmm.
and Pinotage, and then it just grows into Chenin Blanc, Chardonnay, Merlot, Cabernet, Shiraz.
So you do white and red
Yeah.
wines too.
Yeah,
Okay.
about 60% red wine at the moment.
60%.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Changes a little bit, but
Uh-huh.
depending on the vintage. Like this year, we didn't get good fruit sets, so we didn't get a lot
What-
of.
Of sun, no? Not too much
No,
sun or
Well, it's too
Not
much
enough?
wind. Too much wind
Oh,
at flowering.
okay.
Too much wind at flowering. It blew a lot of it off, so we lost about between 40 and 60% on some of the cultivars of production.
So you
So we
think
make a little
this
bit
year
less.
will not be a very good year for your wine, or?
It's actually turning out nicely. It
Yeah.
seems because of the lower production,
Mhm.
the lower
Oh,
yield,
okay. Okay.
the concentration in the fruit
Was
has
better?
been better.
Okay.
So I think it shows quite
Less
nicely.
fruits, but
more
more
body
better
and more
quality.
structure,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see.
And for your champagne method, how do you call it? In fact, do you call it champagne, or do you have a special name, or South African champagne,
Yeah.
or
We're not allowed to call it champagne because of the regulations with the EU.
you don't? Can you repeat?
We're not allowed to call
You
it
are
champagne.
not allowed.
No.
Okay. Even if you specify it's a South African champagne,
Yeah.
it's not allowed.
Yeah. They used to call it Method Champenoise,
Yes.
and that you can write if you want to. But South Africa has now got a brand like champagne.
Yes.
Where there's certain regulations on aging of the lees, bottle fermentation, all in the same champagne style, but it's called Cup Classic,
Cap Classic.
Cape Classic.
Cape Classic.
Cup
This
Classic.
is a champagne here,
Yeah,
and
that's the
it's
champagne.
good quality. You have good Cape
Yes,
Classic.
yes. I think we don't have as many limestone soils in that as France or even the south of England, where they're producing some lovely champagne styles. But I think our sparkling wines are definitely on par with the non-vintage, bubblies, non-vintage champagnes.
Okay.
But the vintage
We
champagnes
should
in
taste
that are a
some
bit better.
because finally in France we just drink champagne, real champagne,
It's delicious.
real. But finally I think it could be very good here too.
Yeah.
So we have to taste it.
No,
I
you
think.
got to taste it. You got to taste it.
Okay, this is very interesting because my teacher is specialized in champagne, this
Okay.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's true that the name champagne is all over the world, but in France it's like we cannot touch at the champagne. There is only the French one, but we are maybe a bit narrow-minded about everything, and that's why we are doing this video on South African wine to broadcast it in France and some students, and to open the ideas and to show that there is something else in other places, you know. So it's a bit to promote. I mean,
it's good. I think the more we know, the better it is. We need to expand our minds and understand different flavors and different people and that's exciting. You can always go back afterwards and
what
drink.
kind of weather? I mean, the climate here, for example, for the Pinot Noir or your cepage for champagne, you need It's not a Mediterranean one. It's what kind of climate do you have?
We've generally got a very Mediterranean climate here.
Yeah.
But we try and pick our Pinot Noir and our Chardonnays from cooler parts of South Africa.
Okay.
Cooler parts, it's still warm compared to Europe.
Okay.
But places like Elgin, across the mountain, cooler, closer to the sea, places like the little parcels of land like that produce higher acidity, better fruit at the lower Ballings.
Okay.
But but there's no real area. I mean, there's people making champagne styles throughout the whole of the Western Cape. It's all over.
Okay. Can you explain me the fact that you are an estate means you don't go use a cooperative? That's it. I'm right.
There are different ways. We're not termed an estate.
You want to work a bit?
Yeah. We're not termed an estate because we buy in grapes. We source grapes from different areas.
Okay.
If you're an estate, you can only use the grapes that
You're
surround
growing.
your vineyard,
Okay.
like your clos.
Okay. It's like your terroir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But your terroir, your clos, your little area, your parcel of land.
So here in Longreach, you have your own terroir.
We do have our own terroir. We've got Chenin Blanc, Verdelho, Viognier, Chardonnay, Cabernet Franc, all on parts of land. But we don't believe that this piece of land is the best for all cultivars. So we buy in grapes from Stanford, about 200 kilometers up the eastern coast. Very cool climate, Shiraz, more Rhone style.
For the Shiraz.
And then we buy in Sauvignon Blanc from Elgin, which is cold, and also from Lutzville, about 400 kilometers up the west coast.
Okay.
Very close to the sea, nice soils, more fruity, more acidity.
So you are allowed
parcels.
to buy something around and mix it with your own grapes.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to call it an estate.
But you have a percentage, I mean a proportion to respect, no?
Yes.
Like it's 80%?
85%.
85?
Yeah,
Okay.
same as the EU, also 85%
Yes.
in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for your champagne, classic, Cape Classic,
Yeah.
what is the proportion of Pinot and Sauvignon?
It's about 70% Chardonnay and 30% Pinot.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can answer if you want.
No, it's
We
fine.
can cut it. Don't
No,
worry
just,
about that. Just
Yeah.
okay.
And and we do our Chardonnay in barrel. We ferment in barrel.
Yeah.
And age it in barrel.
Bar-
and then we blend it
Okay.
afterwards, and then to bottle for the secondary fermentation.
Okay. Is it what kind of is it food? What kind of food is it?
It's oak barrels, all oak barrels.
Okay.
We've got some second fill.
Is
oak
it for
barrels.
fermentation or maturation?
Both.
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 Oh, you do both in
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have how do you say steel?
Yes, we've got steel
Steel?
inside, which you'll see.
Okay.
But for the reds, we all use the steel with bigger open tanks. But for the Chardonnay, Chenin Blancs, some of the Sauvignon Blancs, we do in barrel fermentation.
Do you
and
think it's
aging.
better for the taste and things like that, or is it why especially you use?
We find that we use a lot of natural yeast as well, indigenous, not added yeast, and we find that on those white wines, that the hydrolyzation of the wood tannins is much better
Yeah.
during fermentation. Once the maturation is there, you seem to not be able to get the marriage of wood and wine as nicely or as quickly as you can if you ferment in barrel.
So mostly for tannins.
Yeah, more for tannins and some of the harshness. A lot of the aromas, wood aromas, those furfurols, the
vanilla,
caramel, vanillas, coconut, all of that, because of the fermentation, a lot of it evaporates.
Okay.
So you end up with a wine that is not overly wooded, but it's been in the same amount of wood as previously.
Okay.
It just seems to
Lower and lower wood you use? You're using less and less barrels in wood, or do you think it's? I mean,
I would say we've hit our peak. I don't think we're going to be using more wood.
yes.
I think depending on how it's going and the legalities, we might be using less wood.
Okay.
But we're using less time in wood than what we used to use 10, 15 years ago.
And where does the wood come from? In South Africa or
No.
France
No,
or?
mostly French.
Yeah,
The oak trees in South Africa grow too quickly,
Okay.
so they get too porous, so
Okay.
they can't really
Or
hold.
from Canada sometimes, no?
Yeah, Canada, from Massachusetts, from the States.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little bit from Hungary, from Poland. That's about it at the moment. Yeah, but most of it's from France and different areas. We get, now that the laws are changing in France as well, used to designate certain areas, but we get more of our wood from central France.
Okay.
than-
Yes, Tronchet Forest.
Yeah,
This
Tronchet,
is this one?
Bretrange, around Nevers, the village of Nevers.
Yeah.
We get Allier, from around Allier. We get a little bit from Vosges, up on the...
Have you ever been to France? Or finally you... Yes?
Yeah, Hendrine's going this year. She's going to go work a vintage. We've got her in Burgundy. And I've been quite a few times. So.
Great. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yes?
Love it. I love it. Beautiful.
Bourgogne? Bourgogne?
Burgundy and Rhone are my two
Yeah.
favorites. I love it. I've been to most of the other places, but they just the wines and the lifestyle is beautiful. I love it. Love it.
To you, what is the best French wine? I mean, maybe it's famous or the best?
La London.
What?
La London
La London?
from Hermitage. Single
Hermitage.
vineyard.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, single vineyard up there.
Oh,
That's
it's,
probably the
it's
best one, I
very original to hear that. Because it's a very good one, but
Yeah, that's
okay.
probably the best.
I expected a Romanée Conti or something like that. No, it's an
No,
Hermitage from.
It's nice. It's
yeah,
nice. It's
okay.
good. But no, you can't say that the wines are bad. Those top quality wines are still brilliant. They're beautiful wines. Beautiful wines.
Do you want to walk a bit?
So we do our
Is it-
more on the whites this side,
Okay.
and then the maturation of the reds that way.
How many hectares? Hectares? The field? Is it
We've got 48 hectares.
48? Okay, which is
Yeah.
pretty big. Is
Yeah.
it big for South Africa or?
It would be medium to
Medium?
small.
Oh yeah. Because here in South Africa, you have very, very big vineyards.
Yeah.
If we compare it with French one.
Yeah, a couple of hectares here, 12 hectares here,
Yeah,
and then the road
yeah.
is a lot.
Oh, in Bourgogne it's
Oh, it's
so
a
small.
It was for half a hectare, a couple of rows.
Yeah.
There's a friend of ours that stays down the road, and he's got 12 rows of vines in Burgundy.
Yes.
So we've got 48 hectares. So we produce around about 240, 250,000 bottles of wine a year.
Okay. Okay.
So about 200,000 liters of finished wine,
Okay.
roughly.
Okay. And do you sell it directly? How do you sell it? I mean, sell it.
Yeah.
Is it to big stores, to foreign countries, to how do you, or directly in the domain?
Yeah, we do quite a bit from the domain itself. We're busy setting up a restaurant and that to help bring people in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start selling hopefully a little bit more from that.
Okay.
South Africa is a small percentage of where we sell.
Like 20?
Yeah,
no?
15%.
15 or
15
yeah.
to 20%.
It's very small.
Yeah, and about 5% from the seller at the moment.
Uh-huh.
And then a little bit, very small amounts in neighboring countries.
Mm-hmm.
And then Denmark, a little bit in the UK, but our
A little bit? Oh,
but our
I
biggest
thought it
market.
was the biggest.
No, but our biggest market is in Holland at the moment.
Holland? Ah, yeah. Okay.
Partly because we're now Dutch owned. It's
Mhm.
a Dutch owned company, so
Oh, okay. Is it it's one person or there is shareholders or?
it's a family.
It's a family.
It's a family.
Okay.
It's a husband and wife.
A very old one. I mean, when did the domain was created here? You know?
Yeah, yeah. The
The
seller,
history.
Yeah.
Facts.
the seller was created in 1992, so 18 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So still fairly young.
Yeah, it's very young.
Started,
80.
and it was then bought out by a big company. And
You mean
then
there was nothing, or they?
there was nothing.
They, I don't know the word. They put the
The
sap,
vines.
the vine.
Yeah,
There was nothing, just the field, and you put the wine, the grapes, and
Yeah.
you grow. Wow.
Yeah.
it's-
yeah. So 18 years. So it was bought by a big company, and then the Dutch owners bought it 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
So it's still only been going for a short while. And yeah, so that's it. It's
And when do your first cuvée wine appears on the markets?
2005. 1995.
1995.
1995
Okay.
was the first one.
This is very young. So
Yeah.
you did 3 years to get a good grape
Yeah.
to after sell it in wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first year that they had it, they bought in grapes just to get the cellar going, all the teething problems, make sure that the cellar's working all right, and that was it. But they didn't sell it under the Longridge label.
Okay.
That was the first one that came out in.
Okay. This is very interesting that it's a new domain because I thought that in this region, this land, in Stellenbosch, everything was very old, that all fields were already cultivated, and finally you can find some places and put the vine.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, we originally, this area of Stellenbosch used to be more wheat fields and cattle. Going back many years, and the vines used to be further out, closer to Caledon, Malmesbury, more those areas. So you get some older vines and that there.
Okay.
But the farms in Stellenbosch are fairly old. But with the breakdown of the cooperative, there was a big cooperative mentality where there would be 30, 40 growers producing grapes for one winery, and everything being sold off. And that broke down around about 94, 95.
Okay.
Started really breaking down. The KWV.
Was there abolition of apartheid, this kind of thing, or is it linked?
Part of it.
Or?
It was part of it, but most of it was through the KWV that was losing its hold. KWV was the only one that was allowed to export wine from South Africa for many years. Okay. And now with the abolition of apartheid, everyone was free to go and sell wine around the world. So the KWV lost their control, and more smaller vineyards were starting to put out sellers like us.
Yeah. Okay. So the abolition of apartheid didn't refrain foreigner investors, but encourage it.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
I thought it was the inverse.
No.
Okay.
More and more.
In fact, you get competition system finally after the KWV monopoly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, so that got much better, and so yeah, it's still a long road. I mean, it's still fairly young, but the mentality, some of the older farmers and that, the mentality is still there as we produce grapes.
Okay.
And as many grapes as possible.
Yeah.
They don't really look at the quality or anything like that.
But here it's not the politics, the point of view. It's you want to make a good quality wine, or finally you have good quality and like table wine, or you have both of quality.
We got both. We got a higher end, a top or better quality,
which is named
Longridge.
Longridge. This is a brand.
A brand
Longridge.
Name, yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got a second label which is called Bayridge.
Bayridge.
Yeah.
A bit slower.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what is the price of your cheaper and more expensive one?
Our cheaper range is around €2.5.
It depends where I buy it.
Depends where you buy it. Yeah. About €2.5 from the farm.
Okay.
So about almost 30 Rand or 27 Rand from the farm. And our more expensive one is around, if we take it at 10, it's about €9.
Okay.
So about 90 Rand.
It's not so expensive.
It's not that bad.
What is your best vintage? Best year, you know it?
At the moment, 2007.
Yes? It was a great year?
It was good. It was very interesting. I think we've had some interesting years, but not for the whole range.
Okay.
We've had good years. I think 2009 was good for some cultivars, and 2010 has been really good, but not for everything.
Okay.
There's been some good ones and some not so good ones.
Okay.
But 2007 seemed to be a good one for whites and reds.
Okay.
We did quite nicely with it, but we don't have the big fluctuation as Europe or sometimes New Zealand and Tasmania.
You use brand, so it's more when you buy your wine, you don't buy your ear or something like that. You buy the brand, you know that it will be
stable and constant.
yeah, stable,
yeah.
constant.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the main difference with the French system?
I think so. I think to a large extent, yes. I mean, people still look
The
at
consumer
vintage.
is more secure about what he will buy. That's it.
That's it. Because there's so the whole explosion of wineries and people drinking wine. There's still only about 5% of the population drink wine regularly.
In
The
South
entire-
Africa
entire
or in the world?
population. No,
Okay.
in South Africa.
Okay,
So it's
5%.
5%. So it's very little
Oh, I thought it was more. Okay,
on a regular basis.
okay.
About 8 years ago, it was only about 3%.
Hmm.
So there's more and more.
More
but
and
that
more, which
explosion,
is a good point.
it's great. For
Yeah.
But what's happened is that people are still trying to find out what they like and what brands are good. So they'll still go for some of the older brands, but they'll try one or two younger brands and start moving into that way. So it's still
Okay.
a very young market in some ways.
Yeah, and you're learning like year by year. You learn.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's great. We're getting more and more foreigners in. In the late 90s, we got a lot of New Zealand and Australian winemakers in
Yeah.
on exchange programs.
Okay.
And that was a huge improvement in wine quality in South Africa.
Is that true that finally markets, how could I say, South Africa position in the market want to be more in competition with the French wine than with Australian or Chilean wines? I mean, you work higher quality than other countries of the New World.
We would
Or
like to.
you would
yeah,
like-
we'd like to. I think we're in a. I think a lot of countries have the possibility, but we seem to, as a country, be in a position where we can take both some of the tertiary flavors, the minerality, the fullness, the romantic side of the old world,
Okay.
and still have fruit and accessibility from the new world.
Okay.
Where there's certain generalizations made about certain countries where they just make these fruit bombs.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just fruit, and after 2-3 years, it's dead.
Yeah, like in California, for example.
This is, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is hopefully a cross-pollination, and I think that's where we'd like to position ourselves.
Yeah.
Obviously with Europe,
You want to be
France-
to complete both of the side, meaning the advantage of French or European wines, and the new world
Yeah.
technology and
Definitely.
knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean, we like drinking fruity wines as well. It must taste like grape. It must taste enjoyable. Where some of the old world wines are or were very heavily bacterially infected, not very accessible to most palates. It was a very refined palate
Okay.
that could have it. But if we could get both the fruit and that length, that beautiful terroir character
Okay.
of the old world,
Yeah.
that's where we'd be striving for.
Okay. And you think you will manage to succeed to do it?
I don't know. I think more and more. I mean, with him going over to France this year, and I mean, a lot of winemakers.
You know, in
backwards and
France we have
forwards.
the best
It's
and
a
the
lot.
worst wines.
I know, that's what, some shockers. But you've got some beautiful wines, and that's it. I mean, we've got it too. We've got some great wines, and we've got some terrible wines.
Finally. And
Terrible wines.
in the production system, what is the main difference? Because finally I see barrel, wood, it's not so industrial. I thought that in South Africa, or maybe it's because it's not a big domain, it was more industrialized, manufactory, I
Yes,
don't know.
yes. More of a factory than
more than in France, which is more at the end.
Yeah, there's a lot of bigger.
To me, it's the same. Finally, there is no main difference between France domain and here.
I don't think so. I don't think there's a big difference. I think yes, there's a size where we touched on earlier that some of the French growers are small.
Yeah.
So they'll have a little piece like this. but the idea is still the same.
Yeah.
It still comes through, destemmed, sorted out on the table, fermented at certain temperatures, and then into barrels. So there's no real difference in the way we use it. Even now, natural yeast.
And
Yes, we've got natural yeast.
And the way you make the wine, is it? For example, for your Cape Classic, do you have minimum time to do the maturation, like they do in Champagne? They
Yes.
have 2 years.
Yes.
Do you have a minimum too?
Minimum as
to
well.
have the right to use the label Cape.
Cape
It's a
Classique.
it's a label.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to use the sugar has to be of a lower sugar, so you can't add a lot of sugar
Okay.
at the
You can't
dosage.
A lot, but you can a
You
bit.
can
like
add
of
up
course,
to
yes, for the.
yeah at the dosage.
Mm.
Riddling can either be done manually, which we do,
Yes.
or
Do you do
through a
manually?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is
Or
it possible to see
Yeah,
it?
yeah, we can go down and
Great.
see.
Okay,
Let's
we
have a
will.
walk.
walk.
Um,
Wait a second.
Il n'y a plus de place. Donc,
Il y a plus de place?
ben, ouais,
T'avais combien? Il y a 8 gigas là-dedans?
non, c'est bon, c'est bon.
C'est bon?
C'est par 15 minutes en fait. t'as
Ouais.
Oui, c'est tranche de 15.
Quoi?
déjà réglé
Euh...
Par tranche de 15
Oui, enfin j'avais
Ah,
pas
ok.
le choix en fait. Mais ça a coupé depuis combien de temps?
Non, j'ai pas. J'ai coupé quand j'étais pas.
Ah super. Ouais, en fait toutes les 15 minutes tu dois relancer le truc. C'est bon, t'as tout
J'ai
enregistré?
fait, ouais.
Ok. Parce que là ça fait 28 minutes donc.
Ouais, non, mais j'ai
Ok.
j'ai coupé.
Great, it's okay.
good.
So you
Yeah,
do it
so
manually? Okay.
We do it manually. Yes, there are certain regulations.
But
sugar
in Champagne it's not
fermentation.
often manually, I think.
No, no.
Because
it's
they have
the
a
volume.
nice
Gyro
machine,
pellet.
yeah, it's very
Takes it
impressive.
and-
Okay.
Yeah, but also that's the volumes. I mean, there are places here that also have the gyro pallets, but yeah, but there are the regulations. There's a Frenchman in Franschhoek at Coldmont, and he's been driving the accreditation, the rules of champagne making for a couple of years,
Okay.
and it's becoming more and more in line with that.
Mm.
And also, what has happened is that there's been such a small production of Cape Classique in South Africa that people have started using anything. They'll use Pinotage, Shiraz, anything to make it.
Okay.
And we're starting to break that down and say, well, you know, you can make a sparkling wine like that, but it's not classic. But those are laws that are. Because it's such a developing country, it's being changed.
And in South Africa, you have the Cape Classic, which is a good one, the champagne,
Yeah.
and the sparkling wine, which is lower. And
Cremant or carbonated and
okay.
yeah.
Do you do
You could
both
choose- no,
or
only the one.
classic?
Yeah.
Okay. And even for the Cape Classic, you sell it at Holland mostly, or you export a lot, even for the
We
champagne.
export a lot. Yeah. So export a lot. So we can do 1,200 bottles at a time.
This is for
Riddling.
the classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're stored behind just until we're ready with the dosage and that. So at the moment we've still got to
Okay.
all the yeast is at the bottom, so we've still got to
Mm.
knock it out and freeze it.
And so you turn it a quarter each day? No, it's not
Roughly. Yes,
Roughly?
each day
each day for a quarter.
about 3 weeks.
Okay.
It's a quarter, and then it goes back 45%, and then a quarter, and back 45%, a quarter, and a back 45%.
Okay.
So
Okay.
sort
Okay.
of changes, and after 3 weeks.
And this
back
is
to
the main
center.
technique used in champagne.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's cool. It's beautiful. Okay. And you do it by yourself, or do you have people to turn it, or it's you in
No, not me
charge of
personally
that?
anymore. No.
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 This is some person.
We've got Hendrin, and then we've got 5 men that work in the cellar, and they do a lot of the work. They pump over tanks, clean tanks, riddle, do most of the work,
Okay.
physical work.
You know what's the year when because when you create a domain like it, you cannot get profits. The first year, of
Yeah.
course, it's an investment during a long time,
Yes.
I guess. Do you know if the long reach domain gives earn money, or they are still losing money, or?
Well, what happened was it was definitely doing well, but then with the buy over 3.5 years ago, put the company into a little bit of debt.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, we are looking at another year and a half at current sales to break even.
Okay.
So we're looking at roughly a 5-year period
Okay.
for the break even, and then from there on it should be.
Still 5 years?
No,
Oh.
another year and a half.
Okay.
So it's been 3.5 years now,
Okay.
and another year and a half.
Okay.
So roughly the break even will be about 5 years,
Okay.
and then we should be making a bit of profit after that.
Okay.
But the average, depending also investment, we might buy more vineyards or something like that, and that might.
Because you continue to invest.
Yeah.
And, okay.
So it might be a little bit longer, but the rough industry norm is 8 years
Okay.
before you start making
8 years.
profit. 8 years.
Okay. Because there is a lot of domain like yours, which was created after the collapsing of the monopoly.
KWB, yeah.
A lot of so the competition will be very
It's
hard
very much so.
because you have to compete
Yeah.
the new world countries, your own domain around. It must be very difficult.
It is. It's becoming more and more.
More
difficult.
because you cannot profit of a past clients or image. Or you have to create everything. Image,
yeah.
communication,
Which
a good one,
Yeah.
everything.
Which both is a good thing because it allows one that openness to experiment and do it. But it's also the difficult part, which is trying to create that and keep a brand awareness and start building loyalty and quality on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Because there's very few wineries in South Africa that have, I would say, 20 years of credibility, top quality wines. Everyone's only a couple of years old.
Okay.
There's some that are older, but it's not a lot.
And to keep stability in your different year, do you keep some part of your production each year to be able to use it next year if the production is less quality, have a less quality?
One can do that. One can add 15%,
Yeah.
but generally not.
You don't do that?
No.
Okay.
Generally not. Generally,
So
we try and keep
stability
it-
is not assured.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is one of the reasons why we got the second label, is that if we get Cabernet in, what we do feel is that every Cabernet that goes onto the market under Longridge every year will be of a very good quality. But instead of being 20,000 bottles, it might be 30,000 bottles in a good year,
Okay.
or 5,000 in a
Okay.
bad year.
So for the business, it must be difficult. Or the wine can be more expensive if there is less bottles. So
Yeah,
it's,
it sort of balances
yeah,
out.
it's balance.
And I mean, we can see when it comes into the cellar, we got a good idea of if it's going to make it or not.
Yeah.
And so we won't use new wood or barrels or that. So definitely, the grapes might be expensive, but it can still go into our second label, and we can still recuperate the cost. So we don't make a lot of money on the second label, but at least the costs are covered.
Okay. I understand. And the barrels, do you change it? Is it old one? Do you change it like each 5 years or things like that, or
Basically, every
can you
3
keep
years.
it for 3 years?
We use it every 3 years.
Okay.
Depending on the wine and that. Some of the older Chenin Blancs we keep for a little bit longer, up to about 5 years. The red wines, 3 years. Basically 2 fills, a new barrel,
Huh?
and then we refill it for another time.
Okay.
And then that's it.
And to get this wood perfume aromas is a good word. Are you allowed to use the oil?
The chips or
I don't know. This is the one.
tannins,
No, to get shen, the wood aroma.
like the wood shavings.
Yeah, but is it? Can you use a small piece of wood to put inside?
Yeah, it's legal. Yes.
Can you do
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah, they can use staves, which are like the barrel staves.
Okay.
And
Do you have one? Can we see that?
We can
or?
put that in. No, we've got some chips though.
Because to be honest, I never seen those kind of piece
Yeah.
of wood.
Yeah, we can. There is a move towards it, especially on the cheaper range, because you can't use barrels, is to use chips.
Okay.
Those chips are obviously much cheaper,
Okay, of course.
but what they do is they also can be quite harsh.
Yes, it's the word I was looking for. Is do you? I read that it's legal to use essential oil of wood to give a taste to the wine, if you don't want to use wood barrels.
Yeah.
Is it true or no?
I haven't used or heard of essential oils, but they do use liquid tannins. Have a look there. They do use liquid tannins.
Yeah, liquid tannins. Okay.
But no, we don't. I mean, it's.
I never heard about that, liquid tannins. So this is what you put.
Yeah.
Can I touch?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can smell it and you can.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's a small amount of wood chips.
Mhm.
You can get the powder as well, which is almost can dissolve in water almost.
So this is not expensive, or is
No,
it a bit?
If you look at that, it's about 50 rand a kilogram,
Mhm.
and if we use, I don't know, I must work out the cost, but if we use
It reminds me something. But
one or 2 grams a liter. On the
So,
wine.
so
it's
just a bit-
cheap.
yeah.
If you compare that to almost 26
cool.
rand. 26 rand a liter for a new barrel.
Okay.
7,000 rand for a new barrel, 720 euro.
Yeah, and it's efficient. It gives a good taste. You think?
For the cheaper range, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It gives a good taste.
Because to use chain wood barrel, it is very expensive.
Yeah.
It increases the cost of the wine of maybe 20% or this kind of thing. Maybe more.
More. Close to 50%.
Even if you
50%.
change it 6 years, each 6 years is a lot.
Yeah. But then you also need to look at storage space. So with that, you can have a 30,000 liter tank. Takes up as much space
Yeah,
as
which
this.
is not possible for all
But
barrels.
barrels, 30,000
It's,
liters of barrels is
Oh, the
massive.
barrels contain how much liter?
225
Yes,
liters.
that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. That's
Yeah, so you need
the same.
140 barrels
Yeah.
instead of one tank. So there is a huge
It's
movement.
much easier
Yeah,
to produce.
but there's been no. I mean, the French devised micro-oxygenation in order to soften tannins.
The
and
famous
things like that.
micro.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do you know Michel Roland?
Michel, micro-ox. Yeah, but that was a bad movie. But yeah, so there's with the micro-oxygenation and the wood tannins, or the oak tannins, oak chips, they are being able to get some polymerization, something, but there is something in a barrel that they have never been able to reproduce. No matter how, I don't think, as much as science becomes almost perfect, I don't think they'll be able to do it. It's got temperature, what holds its temperature, like a temperature buffer.
Okay.
The wood
So
doesn't
you
go
use
up and down. With
Do you
stainless
use
steel gets hot
technology?
and cold.
Do you have special technology? I mean, in the this what do you press? No, not the press, but steel in
The
steel.
tanks, yeah.
Steel
Stainless
tanks?
Steel, yeah.
Do you have something special like technology to control the temperature
Yeah.
and things like that?
Yeah.
Can we see
Yeah,
that?
let's go and have a look. We're hoping to upgrade it at the moment. It's still very manual and
You want to upgrade it?
definitely.
You have to call the family, and
Yeah.
it's a big invest, I guess, to have new tanks.
Yes.
Because it's brand new.
Yeah, they're all fairly new.
It looks brand new.
It's a nice thing with stainless steel. It always looks new. But we've got this pump over system. So because of the tanks, we can't do pugeage,
Okay.
but we do pump over. The
Okay.
grape juices
So pumping.
come out the bottom and over into the top. And we do delistage if need be. But that's it. And then we've got, just at the moment, we've got just a normal temperature gauge
Okay.
and then cooling taps, and then a cooling unit.
Do you do rosé?
Yes.
And by
But Senior.
Senior, you say
We said we call it Senior. Yeah.
Okay, you do it. Senior. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we want to upgrade it to digital and also pneumatic. So we can punch in, we want 15 degrees on this tank, and it will keep it at 15. It will open and close as it wants to.
Okay.
Because at the moment, sometimes we, at the end of harvest, get quite tired. You forget about a tank. The next morning you come in, you go, oh, my red wine is like 4 degrees Celsius. I'm sure
It's when they come to.
yeah. So there is a little bit that we'd like to.
Okay, so we'd like to change it.
Yes, but it still works well.
Is it was it bought at the beginning of the domain? I mean,
Yes,
it is
yes.
15 years old.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's definitely things that.
And it was new, or did you?
No, it wasn't.
It was new.
Yeah.
By the way, the family, the owner of the place, did they have experiences in wine before?
No, not at
or
all.
they just invest and
They actually-
ask someone to
run it
to
and-
run it?
Yeah. They actually.
Wow, it's a big challenge because
Yeah.
in that foreign country, moreover.
Definitely, but they feel really secure even now. With them being in Europe and that, they definitely feel that there's a lot of opportunity here. So they are buying up little pieces of land, investing more and more, and we see it with a lot of their counterparts, a lot of their investors. There's quite a bit of investment still going on at a time where it should be in a recession. There's still some investment. The family, they decided that they wanted a house in a lovely country. They love playing golf. It's one of their passions. They have
Is
a
there
golf.
a golf runner?
Lots, lots. And they were going to buy a house here that they would frequent. And one of the guys said, well, you're going to buy a house that you don't like. Why not buy a small piece of land and build a house that you do like?
Now they live here or they live in Holland?
They live in Holland.
Okay. And they want to move here?
Yeah, they come here regularly and enjoy it. But that's how it started. They just were going to come on a holiday.
And
then
what was their
grew.
first job? I mean, now it's kind of fine, but before they were businessmen?
Yeah, they still are. And they're involved in the meat industry in Holland. So they package anything from cheap Viennas to cold smoked Brazalas and things like that. But they're in the meat industry. Around the world. They've got in Australia. They had a production house here which they've closed. Canada, the States, quite a few in Europe.
What's their name?
Aldo van der Laan.
Aldo
Van der Laan, yeah.
Okay.
But the company's name is called Swanenberg.
It's the last name of the owners.
No, he's van der Laan, Aldo van der Laan. But his company in Europe is called Swanenberg.
Okay.
Or what's a swan? A duck hill. Swan hill.
Okay. Great. But the fact that you export mostly in Holland, do you think it's because it's your owner are Dutch?
Yes,
because
it helps.
Yeah, it must help, of course.
Definitely helps. Yeah.
They have contact, maybe with supermarkets, those kind of things.
Supermarkets, also with certain football clubs where we can sell the wine at in the clubs and that. Yes,
They are from Amsterdam or where?
No, they're in Holten.
Holten?
Yeah, just outside. Yeah. Do you know the little town Twente?
20 years.
Yeah, that's it.
FC 20 is a good football team. So.
Yeah, he's part owner of FC
Not
20.
so bad. It's
Yeah.
not a great team, but it's a good team.
Yeah, they won the Dutch league this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they beat Ajax and Inter, so they won the Dutch league. But he's part owner of FC 20.
Okay.
So that's where he's, yeah. So, but European-wise, we'll see next year. I don't know. But I'm a Liverpool supporter, and I don't know what
You
they're
are
going to.
really? Where are you from? I mean, you are South African, but your ancestors, where do they come from?
My mom was born in Denmark,
Okay.
and my dad comes from the Western Cape, but his granddad was born in France.
So maybe you have something in your blood.
An affinity, but I still can't speak it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think if you just go with him, drink for a while. I've just got to go out for about half an hour, but I'll see you back.
Maybe
in
last
a couple
question,
of
if it's
minutes.
possible.
Yeah.
Maybe. Can you tell me a word about the new exploitation wine estate owned by black people in the countryside here in Holland?
There aren't many. There's a couple in Franschhoek. Most.
There are not a lot.
No, they're not a lot. There is an American guy, a black American that has bought Amani. There is, I think, Tokyo Sequale and one or two others that have bought in Franschhoek. But that's about it.
You
It's
don't know
probably
about
4.
4 in
Maybe.
the whole South Africa?
Yeah, I would say so.
But a
4,
big
5.
one, no? Big,
Yeah, big and good in that.
and good quality?
Yeah, some good quality.
It's the same principle? I
Same
mean?
principle, same sort of style. They haven't started off wineries. They've bought existing wineries. There hasn't been a big culture within the black community for wine drinking. I mean, it's beer drinking. That's what they
so
produced.
they have to create a new community
Of wine drinkers. So there are more and more black students coming through the universities that are interested in winemaking or wine marketing and things like that. But there's very few that are at the level of being able to purchase a vineyard. The only people that have been able to do that have been part of the old government. Old government. I mean, 8 years ago when Mbeki or Mandela was still running the country, and now they're out of parliament, out of the political, but are now in business, and they're being able to buy it.
And do you think that white people won't buy wine from these vineyards because they are owned by or run by black people? Do you think there is something like that? Each community buy his wine and its wine, and black people buy black wine. I mean, And what do you think it's like that?
I think,
or finally, for wine, it's passion. Nobody cares about who is.
I think a lot of people don't care. I think a lot of people don't care. As long as the wine is good, they enjoy it. But we all know. I mean, if you want to sell something, you need to have a person that can speak the language and be presentable and marketable. So there is a huge advantage that they have in getting into the black communities to sell their wines, definitely. More than what we have. So yes, they.
But you have the knowledge.
Yeah, but some of them also.
Not for you because it's a brand new exploitation, but I mean, it's maybe harder for them to get to know how to run a wine estate, or
I think
it was former employees that run now this exploitation.
There are some, yes. Through BEE and through the KWV's also had a.
This is a BEE, yes.
A big one that started up with that. Yes, it is a bit difficult with anyone getting into a situation of running a company, white or black. It is difficult. And I think it has being a farming community. I think it has always been more Afrikaans dominated, but there's more and more English speakers that have got into it, which was very difficult 10 years ago when I started. I mean, at university, I had to study in Afrikaans, even though I was English. But 10 years down the line, now they've got English and Afrikaans. 10 years from now, I think they're going to be having in Xhosa and Zulu. I think the dynamics, it's changing so quickly.
Yes, it's it. Do you think there is a good evolution and
I think
people live more and more together? This is the way?
More and more. The culture, people still gravitate. Maybe not consciously all the time. One say, well, he's black, I don't want to be with him. But you might meet the person and say, well, okay, I like rock climbing, he likes surfing. I gravitate to rock climbers, and if they're all white, then that's fine. But if they're all black, that's also fine.
Okay.
So, but it's more of an understanding of what you want out of your life, rather than actually saying it's white, it's black. But having said that, there's definitely a percentage within this country that they definitely see color, and from both sides, black seeing white and white seeing black. That is still quite. I wouldn't say the majority, but there is still definitely those issues. But I don't think it affects wine sales.
But finally, for you, it's not a competition, those estates, because you are your clients, they have theirs.
And I mean, for us, we as long as we don't all work together, but the idea is that if we can produce better quality wines in South Africa, it benefits us all.
For everybody.
Everyone.
Okay.
So I mean, the more and more quality wines are produced, the better. If we can
Business is business now. Finally, business help to walk or watch in the same direction or something like that.
I mean, if we can uplift our ideas, I mean, people have looked at South Africa perhaps through the KWV or just afterwards when we started exporting massively, and we just exported terrible wines, really terrible wines. Everyone wanted South African because of Madiba and this and that, and the quality wasn't that good.
Okay.
But if we can all work together and uplift that quality and that perception that it's not a €4 wine, we can make €20 bottles of wine and compete in that section. But it is difficult.
Okay.
But the more and more the smaller groups get together, black, white, coloured, the better.
Okay.
Definitely, I think it's
Cool.
It's good.
Very interesting, Clinton. Thank you very much.
Excellent. No, it's a great pleasure.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. You have a good place. It's very cool to see that. We are lucky because we are lucky to know Claire because
it is nice.
it's cool.
But I think they said you're gonna have a wine.
Yes, we go to. Okay. Okay, great. Well, maybe I'll see you later. Or
I'll be back.
okay.
Now
Okay, great. See you. And thank you again. Thank you.